Wow. So all three of you actually answered most of my questions. I'm just kidding. it's it's amazing, right? Because but one thing, and I'm going to touch upon all of you. Let's stick with you, Rohan, for a bit, right? Which is you talked a little bit about what attracted you, and you also did something which I think very few people are able to do at this young an age, which is try different things before deciding which one attracts you, right? So. Advice to people who, again, I know Mega, you mentioned offensive security as well, right? Which is that seems to be the most obvious thing for somebody sitting on the outside who has no cyber experience, right? You have this hooded kitty, you have ransomware, you have, hey, you want to get into the red team and attack to learn about how to defend. Talk a little bit about, I know, I mean, Ron, from you, you came from a scripting background, but then offensive attracted you, but then now the defense aspect of it is also interesting to you. How does somebody who knows very little who's sitting on the outside, right, and how do they get to that point of maturity of understanding the different aspects before deciding where to get certified and what sort of jobs to go after?
So, you can see from last to last year, the cybersecurity jobs have been constantly growing. So, what's happening is it's becoming a new hot topic like engineering. Like I have to do engineering, and I have to do and the same way I have to get a cybersecurity job. So, what I feel is if your passion is cybersecurity, then you must go for it, because if you are passionate about, suppose, BA role, business analyst, and you are still going with the flow, no, cybersecurity is the future, so I should go for cybersecurity. So it doesn't work that way. That's what I believe. Because personally, from graduation, my thought process was to get into cybersecurity. I did my CCNA, Cisco Certified Network Associate certification, then and there in graduation only, because I wanted to clear my networking basics. And then I learned Linux, then I learned Metasploit. So it's a step by step process, but still I didn't know the basic concepts that I told you, like CIA, AAA concepts, so that I learned in college. So you need to, if you want to enter cybersecurity, it's not like it will accept you without knowing any concepts. So first you need to clear your concepts, and then you would be able to get into this field. But people, I have seen people like they are working in something like a different domain, and they don't want to clear even the concepts, but they want cybersecurity jobs. So what I advise them always, what I advise them, to clear your concepts first. That's the most important part if you want to be in cybersecurity, because there are n number of people trying to get in. And yeah, there are enough opportunities, there are people are not there, but you need that competency to be in this job. That's
Great,
what I feel.
great. Yeah, no, great perspective. So, Rimi, I mean, your path is a little different, right? You talked about like getting into marketing role and then looking at the products of your company and that getting attracted. So, talk a little bit about how quickly you were able to make that transition from saying, "Hey, I'm going to stick to marketing," to say, "No, this is really interesting to me," and needing to understand more and getting into cyber.
So as told you that I have always been attracted to things that seem to be difficult to me, you know. So when I was in graduation, I was doing computer engineering. That time marketing seemed difficult to me. Like, how am I going to write content, or how am I going to talk to 100, 200 people gathering when I go to exhibitions? And then when I was at my company, it sold biometrics security devices or telecom devices. So there I understood. So my journey into SCIT and cybersecurity was not a very, chalked out path, as Rohan said. I did not have it really clear in my head since the beginning. So I figured it out step by step. I was interested in the IT business management, and so I joined SCIT. After this, after I came to SCIT, I came to know about Team Matrix and cybersecurity. I knew that I want to pursue a career in information and cybersecurity, but I did not know a lot about it, that how I should get. I just took a leap of faith, and I ended up in SCIT, and then I ended up in Matrix. And coming here has been an eye opener. There are also, my past experience helped me a lot. My marketing experience helped me to contact people. Like, we are organizing this, like I was in my junior year, uh, in the previous year, and I hosted the our CSAM event and then we did promotions. So our marketing is also very directed towards individuals who are interested in information security. So coming to the point that how I grasped, so it was not very difficult, owing all the credit to the teachers. So our college teachers were very, very aware that students at SCIT came from various backgrounds. Like there are people from arts, there are people from BCom, and then they made it easier for us. Along with that, I did some courses on Coursera and other places to know more about it. I attended many of such panel discussions or knowledge sharing sessions that are available. So that actually made it a very broad perspective for me on what all the things I need to learn, and I'm still learning. It's not that you can learn cybersecurity on the whole. It's not that. It keeps changing every day. Every day there is some new attack, and you have to keep your eye open for that stuff. So you have to be aware of what attack has happened with which company and what all kind of updates I need to install on my software on a personal level. On an enterprise level, you need to be aware of what your employees are accessing. You need to have all the filters that allow the employees to access certain sites and etc. So that is about it from my side.
Got it. No, that's so true. I think that's, yeah, go ahead. So the aspect of what you mentioned in terms of the changing landscape, right? I think that is so important because sometimes you get rooted into, oh, I got my certification, I got my degree. Yes, but it may have less relevance now because of what's going on, right? So,
Yes.
Megha, again, I know this is close to your heart, but talk a little bit about how you were able to translate the passion of yours and being able to look at, hey, what is the data they're giving out there, and being a social lack of non-sharer, if you will, and seeing people around you who are like giving data like crazy. And how did that motivate you to get to where you are?
Personally, I just believe that you need to have passion to know more. I had questions in my head and I wanted to find the answers. So SCIT was my way to find my answers. I have 3 points to mention. Just be curious, join SCIT, and follow Team Matrix to know more about cybersecurity. And yes, I do agree. There's a huge myth. Even I personally thought that it will take me like a year or so to know, get a grip in cybersecurity. And since I'm not from a proper technical background, it will be a lot more challenging for me to learn. Not true. Mark my words. It's just been 3 months, as I said, and I have started feeling confident that even I can choose cybersecurity as my career. The growth in the specific niche is so rapid, it will blow your mind. There's so much to learn, and yet daily new things and trends are keep coming up. So yeah, if you find it interesting, believe me, you can do it.